And we are live. The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old.
We almost had to hang it up. The whole show was going to dissolve. Had a bit of a dad gaming scare this week. Yeah. It might have just, maybe I just needed a nap. Let's be honest.
I thought you were going to say it's Halloween. I was spooked.
Yeah, I got scared off.
Yeah.
I played a scary game and I just couldn't go to sleep. No, I don't know if you've ever found this, and I'm sure some gaming dads relate, but just destroyed, wiped out, super tired. But it's like 8:30 and the kids are down. So it's like, okay, if I go to sleep now, I will probably wake up at like 11 and be just royally screwed. So perfect opportunity for gaming. Let's get into some gaming. As tired as I am, this will be great. And I had during the day downloaded Back 4 Blood.
Oh, okay.
Right. So the new release, the spiritual successor, it's being called to Left 4 Dead, both 1 and 2. This, and literally not just like we liked it, we built a version. I mean, the studio who built Left 4 Dead made this game.
Right.
And it is just that with like modern trappings. It's like, all right, great, let's hop in, let's see what this is all about. And right away I pick a character and we're in the starting room and I look around. It's like, okay, well this gun has +6 to your mobility but -2 to your stealth. This one has +4 to your agility, -2 to damage, plus, and I'm just reading it like, what are you
Which
talking
one makes
about?
me win? I just want one that makes me win. Yeah.
Does it kill the undead? What the heck are you talking about? Just what is this?
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, fine. I go around the corner, zombies come in. I'm just playing with bots because I want to get my feet wet in the tutorial missions. And we kill a couple zombies. I go into a room, and now I'm looking at a box, a treasure chest of different things. One of them's like a firecracker.
Oh.
I would suppose, okay, like drag, firecrackers, throw it, and zombies will come. Yeah, okay, that's classic stuff. Now this firecracker though has +4 to agility, -2 to noise canceling. And I'm just like, why are there stats on the firecrackers? it's light, boom, boom. I don't need. I can't.
Boom, boom. That should be the tooltip. Boom, boom. It works.
Yeah, that's all this. That's the flavor text. Boom, boom. It works. But the sense of dread, like the energy of an already tired man, just completely fell. The floor just fell out. I was already so tired, and I'm reading the stats and how they compare to my current loadout on firecrackers, and I'm like, is this what games are? I can't do this. Like, I'm so tired often, and like, if this is what it takes now to game, is that I got to be up on my meta, on firecracker meta.
Yeah.
On our latest installment of what is essentially Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood.
Oh, yeah.
I just like, have you hit that wall or had that floor like fall out from under you with this new stuff?
Yeah, and actually it's like it's even games that I'm kind of familiar with. Like I can understand you hopping into a new game and you have to figure out the mechanics and you're like, I just do not feel like doing this. And it's too much right now. I need to be, chipper and go in fresh. But there's even games that I've talked about on the show, like Divinity Original Sin, which is like a top-down strategy game. It has a lot of that stuff where like there's things that balance out other weapons and armor, and it's a lot of mental energy at once. And if you're coming down from a day of just having the kids out and it's a weekend and you're just tired and you just want to like fall into a game as a comfort, totally have done that. I've just ignored those games that are interesting and fun. Like I do enjoy them. It's just like that time is just no, I do not need that.
And I should say too, like I really, which I almost wish I'd said at the top, is that I don't mean to denigrate the game, because I think I kept it on the system. Like I intend to go back to it. I'm kind of curious to play it with other people, but just that moment, like that particular time, it was just so anti-dad. Basically, anti-tired dad. This game could not be worse to start up into. And where the fear came from, where the podcast almost ended, was as that feeling happens to me, it was kind of like, why am I doing this? I don't want to play this. It's like, do I just not want to play games anymore? Am I losing my love of video games? Is that, have I become the old man now that will shun these young kids and their blinking screens?
See, like, for those that don't know, we have a red telephone in each of our rooms, and if something like that were to happen, that red telephone, you phone the other podcaster and say, "Hey, listen, I'm having a crisis.
I need your help." Just, and guess for me, what's one game do you think you say, "Hey, listen, don't worry about it. Just pop this in. You're gonna feel fine."
You're gonna feel fine with a lot of games that you're gonna go back to. I mean, Final Fantasy 12.
Final Fantasy 12. So I brought up a quick screen of some playthrough of Final Fantasy 12. So that's exactly what I did. I had all these terrible feelings. The Bat phone, I suppose, our red Gaming Dad phone was out of commission. And maybe I was just going to hang it up altogether, listed on Craigslist. But I had recently downloaded, as I mentioned on the other show, I was going to replay Final Fantasy 12 because I needed to save space on the Switch. So I was going to redo it on Xbox. So getting out of Back for Blood, there it was. I'm like, why don't I just grind this a little bit, see what's up? Yeah. And I played it for like an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
It was so nice. And I'm talking, here's the thing. I'm not far in like this new game. So this is the nonsense first quests.
Yeah.
Very beginning. I don't even have gambits yet. The funnest part of this game that I love.
Right.
That's how early I am. And even still, I just felt this compulsion to play, keep going. Like, it's like, no, what happens in the next town? Like, what's going on next?
Yeah.
And it was such a relief. It felt so good after coming from my last experience.
You're saved. Vaughn has saved you. But yeah, I could totally relate.
No, not Vaughn. Never Vaughn. I don't like that man.
Yeah. It's your comfort game, and I totally feel that, where it's just like something new. Again, you have to learn the game mechanics, things that are going to surprise you, whereas something that you're totally familiar with and you just want to chill out to. I'll do that same thing with, like, I'll rewatch movies instead of like starting something new, right? Just because it's something that helps you after a day of whatever you went through. So Final Fantasy 12, though, is pretty dry in the beginning, but I'm glad you found comfort into it, because I like ran to that Gambit system as fast as I could, Sky Pirates and all. Yeah. So
kind of helped me too. Is I was skipping all cutscenes, which I never do, especially like in a Final Fantasy, because I like that stuff. But because I've already redone it, it was like, okay, let's roll. I know I'm not missing any ultimate weapons here. Let's just get moving. We'll come back around. I'm not even going to do the hunts until I get like the gambits. Like, I'm just going to blast as far as I can, basically get to where I was on the other system, and then get back to it. But relief, yeah, I think it was just what felt like a turning point as a gaming dad, where, you know what, life is too much. I can't play games anymore. It doesn't mesh with life. It turned out to be just, no, you're just too tired for a brand new IP that is probably a little too complicated for its own good, but has a lot of potential. Just play a game. Just find one that you know. Right.
Yeah. No, totally agree. And maybe not a Twitch shooter that is, reliant on your reflexes.
Yeah. Something low and chill. Like, what is your calm game? If you had to exhaust, because we're recording this today because we were both just utterly dead yesterday. Like, what is your go-to calm, relaxing game?
Honestly, right now it's kind of
Dark Souls.
No, it's not Dark Souls. Can you imagine? That stresses me out. It would be Kenna, just because it's like a nice game. It's fun to look at. It's very Pixar-like, and it's like old school Mario platforming, kind of with some Zelda mixed in there. It's just fun. It's calming. I love it. Before that, though, way old game would be Rocket League.
Wow, really?
And yeah, it was just something that was easy to get into, and really, like, there's no thinking with that game. You score a goal with a car, you're good. Like, there's nothing else around it. It would be the best thing. I love it. It's great.
Hey, Gaming Dads, do you have a suggestion for I'm way too tired for this Gaming Dad game? Would love to hear it. If you can reach out to us at our website, newdadgaming.com, or at newdadgaming. Would love to feature some suggestions on the show.
Yeah.
for other dads in a similar crisis situation.
Yeah. We'll
It's
start
not
making a
you.
list. We'll start making a list. Yeah.
Comfort dad games. It's not you.
right.
You're just tired.
Yeah.
So now, while I was getting super tired, you were getting super riled up because Nintendo has announced the pricing for their new online expansion pack.
Yeah, they came out with this as part of the Animal Crossing Direct, which no one was really expecting. And the reason they came out with it was Animal Crossing has DLC, and now it's included in this expansion pack as part of their online service. So the online service is going up almost, I think it's double in price now, the regular service. And then the expansion is another $30 on top of that. So for us Canadians, for a family pass that I currently pay, well, I used to pay, it was around $45 kind of thing. Don't pay anymore because it's we don't use it, and I have enough subscriptions. Right now, you'd be paying $100 a year for online and the expansion, which includes those N64 games that are maybe 7 or 8 of them right now, and the Genesis games, and then the Animal Crossing DLC, and whatever else comes down the pipe, I guess. So that was something that was just like, nope, this is too much. This is way too much. No one, I don't think anybody was really expecting it. And it's weird to see people come out of the woodwork to like defend it. Like, oh no, it's worth it. It's totally cool. You know, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Where I think we were talking before the show. And if people actually speak up and say, hey, listen, this is way too much. You guys overshot by a large margin. Xbox Live Gold, when they were going to increase their prices, a lot of people were vocal about that, saying, no, this doesn't make sense. It's too much. And they reversed prices. So that was Microsoft. They might be a little bit more ear to the ground and try to gain people's favor, whereas Nintendo's kind of like off in their own world and like offering what they offer, and you buy it.
Where else are you gonna go?
Exactly. Mario's got you by the throat. He's just like, you're gonna buy it. Give me your gold coins. But yeah, it's a little insane.
Nintendo.
Yeah. This is Wario pricing. I think that was my tweet. It's just Wario getting a little greedy here.
Yeah, I suppose what's interesting is, so I'm paying, I think, like $19 a month for Xbox, but that's Ultimate, so that includes streaming, like online streaming, the Game Pass, PC Pass, like just everything for it. And I feel great about, like, I really do like the service that I'm getting. I mean,
Right.
would be wonderful if it was cheaper, of course.
Right.
But I think even with it, with my limited playtime, the amount of games I kind of download quickly, play for a bit, switch out, like the ones I've been able to discover, it's been awesome. It's been great, right? So, but I think about the amount of content that's on there, and with something like with this extra money, you get to play these N64 and Genesis games, and we know for a fact that's a very limited stock. Like you
Yes.
can't, like, are you going to release 9 a year? Because you have, like, what of N64 games you could, like, try to put a number to it. How many do you think, besides just the ones, let's call it, there's 12 titles we know for sure, just bangers, like, this is my youth, this will be fun.
Right.
There's probably an additional 20 to 30 that you've never played before or you saw. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, is it like there's another 300 that exist that maybe we're not quite aware of, that this is going to make it a great service? Like, how would you land on how on earth is it going to make it worth it, that price?
I honestly don't know where they're coming from in this. And there's a couple of those games that are never going to see the light of day because I think the licenses are all crazy. So like GoldenEye, I don't think we'll ever make it onto this, right?
It's just that is the weirdest miss
Yeah.
of any game from N64.
Yeah. They haven't specifically said no, but like, again, the licensing on that is insane. Like there's no way it would, if it was, maybe lead with that. And I think that could sell it to a lot of people. But still, like you said, I don't think N64 had a lot of gaming catalog to it. It wasn't actually very popular. I thought it was popular as a kid, but it didn't sell very well. And I don't think the games are really, they're not worth it. It's just there wasn't much there. And I think a lot of my memories are, maybe 10. But if they treat this any way like they did the Nintendo and Super Nintendo games, that they just drip fed the online service, like I don't think they release too much per year. And they were not very like. They came out with some good ones, some memorable ones, but then some months you got nothing, right? And they don't give a schedule. So you don't know. Even on their website, on the FAQs that they put in, they're like, when will you get new games? Well, there's no set schedule to this expansion pack. I'm like, great. You're leaving it up to Nintendo figure out when they deserve your money? Like, it's weird in that way. I don't know.
As long as we can get away with, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And another strange thing to it is tying DLC to it. So Animal Crossing, I don't know how that works.
I wonder if that's just them. Perhaps they did have their ear to the ground a bit and eventually understood that people weren't. I mean, Hooray and 64 games, like that's great. And Genesis games, sure. Like that wasn't really my bag, so I can't speak much to it. But maybe they had the ear to the ground, and there's not a lot of huge demand and like excitement online for this. Let's sweeten the pot to get the initial launch kind of rolling and rocking. That's a very weird inclusion.
Yeah. And maybe it's because they have sold quite a few of that. I think it's like 25 million Animal Crossing games are out there. So it's quite a bit. And maybe they're trying to get those users, like, hey, you don't have to pay $30 separately. You can actually pay for, $30 extra for this whole year. And you get these other games with it. So yay. But then, once it goes away, that expansion pack goes away. So, and maybe that's where this is coming from, where they named it this. Because a lot of the DLC maybe will live here as sweeten the pot a little bit. So maybe more games as they come out with expansion packs will go here as well as separately. Like, who knows? Maybe that's how they're playing it.
Are they going to play it that filthy, though? Like, so let's say I don't want the online pass. Okay. But if I don't want the online pass, but I'm huge into Animal Crossing and I want the DLC, is the only way to get the DLC is through this expansion?
You have to get both. So you can't just get the expansion pack separately. You need the online.
But I mean, that doesn't exist. I can't buy, like, I can't spend $20 to get just the expansion pack for my Animal Crossing game.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Okay, okay, because that's what I'm saying. Dirty, because that would be.
Well,
that would cause an uproar.
Yeah, and people want, with the success of Metroid, they think that they're going to bring back GameCube games like Prime. Maybe there's Metroid Prime Trilogy, and people are like hoping, hey, when you had a virtual store, like a virtual console, and you could buy these games, now they're probably going to place it on this kind of service where it's more subscription based, right? So if there ever were re-releases of certain games that you like, they're not. I don't think they'll be bought separately. I think they'll go to this thing where you have to get into.
That would be. See, now if GameCube was part of the mix, that becomes now interesting, because GameCube, I think, was very much a undiscovered platform.
Yeah, I missed it completely. So
in my entire group of friends and anybody I've even known, I've only known one person to ever own a GameCube.
Yeah,
mutual friend of ours, actually. Friend and friend of the show, Jeremy. The only person I knew with a GameCube. One. Yeah. It's just like, so I think that's kind of a miss generation. So the Metroid game for it apparently is amazing. Wind Waker, like, Lord, I could finally play Wind Waker.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to. But yeah, this feels kind of dirty. I'm curious if they'll go back on it, but seems like you don't think they will.
I don't think they will, because I think it's admitting some, maybe they were a little bit wrong, and I don't think Nintendo has ever actually done that. I think they move on to the next thing, right? So even Wii U they thought was successful until the point where they, actually got success with the Switch. But I don't think they'll go back on this. They might try to sweeten it more with other stuff and put it on this thing. But you have to buy 12 months of it too. So that was another thing. You can't buy just 1 month. So if you want the expansion pack, you're paying for a year, and then a year again if you want to keep it. So I don't know. I'm subscriptioned out. I don't know about you. This is just too much. It's like cable TV again. Like, everything's tiered, everything's splintered, and I just want a VIP gaming pass to everything. Just give it to me, please. And then not pirating. I want to pay like proper.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's why with
Pass? Is that Game Pass? Did I just describe Game Pass?
I don't know. It feels like a fire hose, man. It's just so much. It's great. Well, think about, like, Back for Blood comes out. I get it. Horizon 5 is going to come out. I get it day one. Like, the amount of day one stuff they've managed to Fandango's been amazing. I'm curious to see what happens with Bethesda games now.
Right. Yeah.
So with Microsoft buying them, would they make that a Game Pass launch day thing, or are they going to like those? Feels like pretty meaty, huge games to just include as part of a subscription.
I don't know how they make money off this thing. Apparently they do. But if you're paying like a couple bucks a month to keep all these like major games, like that's crazy, especially if you're getting the new Bethesda stuff. Like how does that? Okay. By all means, like that's amazing because then it's balanced out with Nintendo doing whatever they want, charging you
like,
6 gold coins. Like
it's just starting to feel like there's like competing mafias,
yeah,
like all running their own little racketeering things.
yeah.
They were just a couple dorky kids in the arcade just wanting to have some fun.
Just brought some quarters, man. I just want to play the arcade.
But I'm so tired.
Yes.
Nothing too difficult, please.
That's right.
Now, speaking of difficulty, that's a good transition. There was a great interaction you had with friend of the show, Gamer Looks at 40, where he was suggesting a difficulty rating on games. So much like there's an age, hey, this one has sex, blood, and gore, or language, or whatever. It would be how is this a Dark Souls or is this a Farmville? Like where on the scale is this one?
Yeah.
I liked your answer. Why don't you walk us through it?
Yeah, I basically said, like, again, difficulty is a little bit subjective. So, but to his point, they could label it with something like design with accessibility options or something that would inform your choice. So, again, something to explore. I'm not saying let's not do it, but a difficulty rating in terms of like accessibility options, right? Which could include a whole bunch of things for people that actually have, identified disabilities that helps them play the game, as well as difficulty options to help people in general. Again, gaming dads or gaming kids, just something that you can kind of make a better and more informed choice on some things without not knowing, right? Because I know like the Mario games are great for that, but they don't, I think, explicitly say like God mode. But Mario will get like the gold Tanuki suit and just fly through the level when you die enough, right? Like that's something that's great for kids.
That is a great thing for dad, by the way, too.
Yes, it
Who
is.
suck at Mario?
I'm a god. Look at me.
No, that is a fantastic point because that recent game where if you die enough, they just give you the infinity suit, invincibility suit. Like it's just what you're having trouble with, even right up to the end boss. Like you can beat the game, the final boss level, you can get a invulnerability suit.
Yeah,
which is just like it's amazing. It's like tell you what, you're struggling, just have a good time. But it's also choice, right? Because like you don't have to get it,
right?
If you want to be obstinate, you can just sail right past it and beat it truthfully.
Yeah.
But with the various scaling of it, I even wonder with I threw back on the video for Back for Blood because I would wonder with this one, could they have a mode where, as opposed to, I'm about to say it out loud, and I think it's oversimplifying it, but for the thought exercise, if they didn't have the stats for guns and they didn't have the stats for the various other items, it was all just like even keel, and maybe they have to level out the zombies accordingly, and it's just you, guns, dead people running at you, like have some fun, don't worry about it. Would there be would there be games like I don't think it works for this one in particular, but for other ones it feels like they could just scale back some elements of it, level it all out and just say have at it, like have a good time.
There's I totally agree, and there's lots of games that have those options where you can give yourself, you do more damage to the enemies, they do less to you, or there's more health pickups versus less. Like there's games where you can balance that out and kind of fine tune it to the difficulty that you feel you're comfortable with, or depending on your age, you can jack those stats up to again allow for you to play the game and still have fun with it, right? And those are just options. So I know a lot of the conversation is like, don't make games too easy because I thrive on the difficult games. Well, again, very subjective because us as gaming dads, we're quite experienced and seasoned gamers. But holy, if I'm going back to Back for Blood, I am not. It is going to be difficult for me to pick up. So I don't know. It's just providing that option and let people kind of decide for themselves, much like they're deciding for themselves on what gun to pick up, right? Well, what option do I want to play the game at? I think that's reasonable.
Now, let me check out one thing. Wolfenstein difficulty setting, because I know that.
Oh, some of them like throw it right in your face too, right? Is that the one? Or Doom?
But
or
I'm trying to think if they'd. Yeah, there's like baby mode. Okay, so they had So, I don't know if somebody had came out. Not honestly, I don't mind this. It's just kind of fun. Like
Yeah,
when it's
yeah,
this
yeah.
tongue in cheek, have a good time. But I mean, the what's even more kind of enjoyable the fact is that they have the mode, right? So as
Right.
much as they're kind of maybe like poking some fun, like anybody who remembers the old Wolfenstein in the most recent versions, they have it too. You put it down to easy, and it's like, oh, like please may I play daddy, and it's good. And then your big badass soldier has like a bonnet and a soother in his mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, like tongue in cheek, but the important part is like they have the mode.
Yes.
They have the mode that's like, look, if you just want to go through and shoot and enjoy the story and have some fun, here it is. This is not that difficulty. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what game it is. I don't know if it was God of War or Doom or whatever it was. There was some other game, relatively AAA, recently that had uh, easy difficulty mode. And the flavor text that went with it's like, listen, we're hardworking people too, and sometimes you just want to relax and have some fun. That's what
Yeah.
this mode is about. I swear I've noticed that a lot more in games, where it's like they're kind of reducing that tenor a little bit. Where it's like, look, you just want to like jump around, enjoy yourself. This is like just have at it, man. Enjoy and have some fun.
Yeah. And I think we need to be honest with ourselves on when we grew up, there were cheat codes available. So
True.
if no one typed those in, they're liars. Like, when you can't find a key, just, whatever, give key or God mode was easy in Doom and Wolfenstein to, turn on. And again, those are just options. You don't have to, and nobody would know. But your trophies would still pop and all that stuff. Like, I think it's just back to that kind of reasoning, right?
Yeah, not. It's going to be in a good place. I think it's going to be great. And if I've honestly seen reviews that mention the fact that it's like an easy mode, and that's prompted me to be more interested in the game. My most recent version with Hades. Hades right now, it might be my favorite game.
Wow.
Like just the best game I've ever played. I enjoyed it so much. But after a couple playthroughs and like the death, and I was looking at the curve that's have to keep getting better, like I was kind of put off. It's like I'm going to have to die like 300 more times, and I'm just...
Don't have the time.
I'm on dad time. I can't keep doing this. But then on a review online, it mentioned like, if you put on God mode, you get the, every time you die, you 5% less, you take 5% less damage.
Right.
And I was immediately just like, yes, yes, that's me. I'll do
That's
it.
right.
And it became so fun. Like I just got to enjoy the story and the combat and everything about it. Now ranks in my personal list is one of the greatest games I've ever played. I love that game.
Right.
But that was only given to me because of that kindness, quote unquote, from the developers.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you're not loving it, if you're not enjoying it, just turn this on. Every time you die, we're going to make it a little easier so you can get through it.
Yeah. And again, gaming for all, right? I think they're video games. Like they're there for entertainment, and who doesn't want, a game that can be accessible to, again, you're looking at age ratings and stuff, but if something like that would help somebody experience the game and now it's the top of their list for this year, that's great for the developer, right? You were bought into that studio, you want to see what they're doing next versus totally missing out and not caring almost, right?
Yeah. Nope.
So
1000%. So yeah, it's to a gamer looks at 40, his general point that if the games came out with, call it a label, however you might want to do it, perhaps it gets tricky. Generally though, if I can be informed of the fact that they have that nice difficulty curve.
yeah.
So both from, hey, I'm playing with my kid, I don't care to see him cry, so let's find a game that he can play and the game's not going to punish him, to I haven't slept well all week, I'm exhausted, I ain't got time for this.
Right.
Just let me have some fun. So I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it kind of called out more, and it feels like we're heading into that. I think we're heading to that type of world.
Yeah, I think so too. And again, it might take some exploration in that, right? Just like what's working, what's not, or, again, even just showing a screenshot of the menu settings. Like, how about we start there?
Can I understand what's going on?
Yeah. So I'm all for it.
Here. So with a hopeful note, we will wrap it up for the week. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you like the show, you can find us on all of the major podcasting networks. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, anywhere where you get your podcasts. It'd really help the show if you subscribe to it, share it around to anybody, and leave comments on those various services. Help us get ranked up as we try to connect with as many gaming dads as possible. Do you have a dad chill game? Would love to receive some notes, perhaps create a list on our website. Do you have any stories of failing at difficulty or being made fun of, being called a baby when you made it easy? Any game that has some really nice settings that your kid has been able to take advantage of? We'd love to hear from you. We really enjoy interacting with fans on Twitter and through our website. You can find us at our website, newdadgaming.com. You can find us at Twitter at newdadgaming. Do reach out. We'd love to hear from you. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 11-year-old, an 8-year-old, and I'll be playing on dad mode. So.
Oh, it's going to be so easy. Right, just give me the white Tanuki suit. Let's not even pretend.
That's right. Yeah, easily.
And remember, just because you became a dad
does not mean it's game over.
All right. See you next week.
See you later.